The following is a relevant radio program and is protected under U.S. copyright laws. This program is made possible through the contributions of listeners like you. Support Relevant Radio by clicking on the donate icon at www.relevantradio.com.
You're listening to Morning Air. I'm Sean Harriott. And the fifth annual Biking for Babies ride is going to be taking place in just 25 days. New Orleans to Chicago to raise money for actually quite a few pro-life groups. And Jimmy Becker is with me. He lives in Boonville, Iowa, and works at Merit Resources as a special projects coordinator. After college, he served 3 years as a Catholic missionary with Focus. And in the fall, he will be working on his MBA at the University of Illinois. Right now, he's getting ready for Biking for Babies. And you can find out more at bikingforbabies.com, bikingforbabies.com. Jimmy, good morning.
Good morning, Sean.
Hey, it's good to talk to you again.
Yes, you too. How you been?
I've been great. And how are you doing?
I'm doing well. Just getting excited for the upcoming adventure.
So this is the fifth year for Biking for Babies, is that right?
That's correct.
And how did this get started?
It started with two students at Illinois, myself and then a friend of mine, Mike Schaefer. And Mike actually proposed the idea of doing a biking and camp trip. And then after talking to one another, it spiraled into, biking for a cause. And instantaneously, we decided that we wanted to support the pro-life initiative. And then with time, as it continued to develop, we saw the need to really have the funds go to support pregnancy centers. Mm-hmm.
How long was that first ride, Jimmy?
The first ride was about 650 miles.
So pretty aggressive to start with.
What's that?
A pretty aggressive schedule there to start with.
Oh, yes.
Had you ever biked that far before?
Not consecutive days.
Mm-hmm.
I had done a few century rides, so biking 100 miles, but outside of that, I hadn't done that on repeated days.
Mm-hmm.
I hadn't done that for extended period of time ever before.
So what was that first ride like, just in terms of the endurance and the experience?
It was wonderful. It was really a learning experience. The whole time, both of us really just put complete trust in God and reliance on the Holy Spirit to guide us. And just through the encounters and experiences that we had, it helped to really kind of light a fire under both our bellies to kind of make this more of something that was working to serve and help other people.
Mm-hmm. How long was that first ride? How long did it take you?
We did it in a week. It was 7 days, with 1 day as a day of rest in between, because we weren't sure how it was going to go. So we did three days and roughly about 300 miles, and then took a day of rest in Champaign, and then finished the other three, and ending up in Chicago.
Mm-hmm. And this year you're going to from New Orleans to Chicago.
That's correct.
If I remember right from our conversation last year, like every year it's gotten a bit longer, right?
Yep. Yeah, this year it's kind of similar to the ride that we had last year. And what we're doing a little bit different is we're working on establishing multiple routes. Mm-hmm. So we have 11 riders and we have 5 support crew members. And what we're going to be doing this year is trying some different things as we're gearing up and preparing for next year when we introduce a new route, which will be starting in Austin, Texas.
And have you done this particular route before?
Yeah, there's slight variations to it because we're going to have we're going to split it into 2 teams at different points during the ride, and that's just to kind of figure out what it looks like or what potentially it could look like when we're split into 2 teams and merge all together in Chicago. How
many people are going to be involved?
There's 11 riders this year, and then we have 5 support crew members.
And what's that experience been like for the people who've gotten involved since you and Mike started this?
I think people have been really surprised in some respects. Of course, surprised in different ways. Some ways being just the surprise of recognizing their own ability. And we've had riders who have come in with different experience. And most of the people that have been involved thus far haven't necessarily been cyclists by trade. It's been people who, have some inkling to do endurance activity, but variations as far as strength. And so surprised by our own strength, and even more than that, just surprised by really what Biking for Babies is all about, what we do, what we stand behind. And what's awesome about the trip is, in addition to growing close with one another in fellowship, we get to share that time of prayer and sacrifice together, going to Mass every day and praying every day together. And we also have the opportunity and blessing to meet and come across many people to share much of what we're doing, and as well also to hear about what's going on within the pro-life initiative, especially what's going on at pregnancy centers.
Oh, what kind of conversations have you had with people along the way?
Anyone that we encounter usually has a question as to what we're doing. We're in a group and we're all wearing the same clothing attire, and we have jerseys that say "Biking for Babies." So of course, that usually leads to a question and a good startup conversation. So we share with them about the mission and what we're doing and why we're doing it. And it's great because I guess you could call it a non-threatening way to approach someone to talk about something that, unfortunately, in our culture is controversial. Mm-hmm. You wouldn't think that sharing life would be controversial, but unfortunately, a lot of times there's a big divide.
More coming up with Jimmy Becker. And again, it's bikingforbabies.com. That's bikingforbabies.com, and more with Jimmy just ahead. You're listening to Morning Air. I'm Sean Harriott, and Jimmy Becker is with me, one of the co-founders of Biking for Babies. It's a bike ride that raises money for pro-life causes for pregnancy centers. And this year, the riders will be going from New Orleans to Chicago. And Jimmy, right before the break, we were talking a little bit about the conversations that you've had along the way. Have most of those conversations been positive?
Yeah, for the most part, people have been very encouraging. And what's great about it is we run into, a number of different people kind of coming from different backgrounds, different experiences, and all the like. And within that, they, where they may not have otherwise had that chance to have engaged in that kind of a conversation, and may have before had, I guess you could say, negative experience, where it was in their mind a threatening conversation where it became a heated discussion.
Mm-hmm.
We take more of an approach just to share the joy of living,
mm-hmm.
which as we recognize as Catholics, it's in essence what evangelization is all about, which is sharing the joy of living. And so we do it in such a way where we got a smile on our face, even though we might be tired,
mm-hmm.
but we get to share life with others. So it's beautiful.
That's great. So how much money are you planning to raise this year?
Our hope this year is to raise $50,000.
Mm. How much money did you raise last year?
Last year we raised $32,000.
Wow, that's
and
great.
In total, since we began, we've raised about $80,000.
Man, that's wonderful. And you've got quite a few charities that you're writing for as well.
That's correct. Yeah, our goal eventually is to have a pregnancy center located in each state,
mm-hmm.
as well as a representative rider from each state.
Oh, that's great.
And so in an effort to do that each year, we've increased by adding on an additional pregnancy center and continuing to support and help the centers that we've been in contact with
mm-hmm.
from the get-go.
So how many centers are you supporting this year?
We have eight pregnancy centers this year. And it's...
Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say it's beautiful, just the random encounters and the ways in which we've gotten in contact with some of the centers. One of our centers actually is in Alabama, and we were down in we were on the show Life on the Rock, and came across learning about this pregnancy center and what they're doing down there. And just through the conversation that was had, we asked if they'd be open to welcome us as one of the centers that we'd be supporting for this year.
Mm-hmm.
And the other centers that we support have some sort of affiliation with one of the riders or several of the riders. So we have some riders that represent the state of Wisconsin, and we help a pregnancy center located in Madison. We have some riders from Illinois, so we have a center in Illinois. I'll be representing and riding for the pregnancy center here in Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's wonderful just because, it puts a face, so to speak, to why you're doing what you're doing
mm-hmm.
and why.
What kind of impact has this had on your life, Jimmy?
Tremendous impact. Just in the times where I've had the opportunity just to visit with the directors of some of these centers and have those engage in those conversations to hear about what they're doing and how things are going and just how much of an impact it is to them. Because in addition, once the money is divided, it's actually a relatively small amount, but at the same time, it makes all the difference in the world of these centers to know that there are other people that support them, especially younger people, and knowing that, for a lot of times, and this was a lot of the reason why Biking for Babies started, was, we recognized that when we were in school that we couldn't give, tremendous amount of we could give a tremendous amount of money just because we didn't have it as college students, but what we could give was to give of our time and energy to really dedicate to help other people. And this was one way that we saw that we could, really make a difference, and we could really inspire and encourage other people to make a difference as well.
Mm-hmm. I'm talking with Jimmy Becker, and the ride is called Biking for Babies, and they're going to be raising money for crisis pregnancy centers of various kinds, and you can find out more at bikingforbabies.com. And Jimmy, how do people get involved with this?
The best way to get involved is if they want to get directly involved, they can contact me at jimmy@bikingforbabies.com or Mike at bikingforbabies.com. They can also check out our website to find out more information. And this year we actually have a couple new additions. In the past years we've done some blog posts. In addition, we've also done some videos just to document kind of the going on of each day so that people can share in the experience with us. This year we are working on getting a tracker so that if people are along the route, they'll be able to meet us somewhere on the road, and we'll be able to just kind of engage and share life together for whatever period of time. We're also putting on events at each one of our stops and working on bringing in speakers for each of those stops so that we have that as an additional way just to share life together.
Well, it sounds like you have a lot of people involved supporting you.
Oh, we do, yeah. It's been a tremendous blessing just each year with, meeting new people and everybody, for the most part, being very enthused and excited about what we're doing. We've gained a lot of support, and so this particular route that we're taking, it would be very difficult, if not impossible, without the support of all the families and friends and loved ones of those who help us along the way. With each stop that we have, we're provided with lodging, we're provided with food, and it's just really encouraging in that respect to know that there are people, all across the country. Yeah, we're not there yet, but at least the states that we go through, there are people there to support and encourage and really desire that sense of unity, which unfortunately is a little bit lacking, both in our country, generally speaking, and also within the pro-life initiative. So this is just one way to really kind of bridge the gaps and kind of work on mending the wounds that may have been created for whatever reason, and just encourage people to say, hey, we all love life and desire like true goodness and happiness, and this is just one opportunity to say, let's come together and just share God's goodness.
Excellent. And again, bikingforbabies.com. That's the website, and you can find out more about Biking for Babies and track their progress, and of course support them as well. Bikingforbabies.com. I've been talking with one of the co-founders of Biking for Babies, Jimmy Becker. Jimmy, thank you. Great to talk to you.
Yes, thank you, Sean. It's wonderful to talk to you as well.
It's 11 minutes in front of the hour. More of Morning Air coming up.